All right, well, I'm going to assert that this is false. And you might say, well, wait a minute, Mike. We're not talking about anything but births and death rates in this model. R is births minus deaths. I didn't see any I's or any E's. There's no immigration or emigration in the model. But think about it very carefully, because this is math, and math is a very logical but yet precise language. What is actually being said if R is equal to birth rate minus death rate? Is it really that immigration isn't happening? Or could it also be that immigration is happening, but immigration, or I, equals emigration, or E? In which case, we have births minus deaths plus immigrants minus emigrants, which we said before, remember, is the change in population size over the change in time. That was our very simple model of population growth. But if immigration equals emigration, these two things cancel out, and R becomes births minus deaths. So really what the assumptions are is that immigration equals emigration, which is this one you see listed here. And of course, we also assume that since the number of individuals is simply n, all individuals are equal. That means they all survive and reproduce equally. And finally, what makes this model a logistic model instead of an exponential model is we assume that the birth and death rates decrease linearly with increasing density. If we get rid of this assumption and we say birth and death rates remain constant, now we have our exponential model that we talked about previously. And so you can see by just changing the assumptions, in this case just one assumption, we move from a logistic model, from an exponential model to a logistic model. And we can move back again by getting rid of that assumption. So why do we want to think about this logistic model? Why do we want to make a more complex model? Well, it's because it's logically, physically, and biologically impossible for exponential growth to continue indefinitely in a finite world. And this becomes very important when we think about the growing human population, which is already past 7 billion people and well on its way towards a potential carrying capacity in the future.